Most people who start streaming do not make it past the first few months. More than half quit in the first month. By 6 months, over 70% are gone. And no, it's not because they're bad at streaming, it's because they start in the wrong order. Honestly, I was this close to quitting when I started. Not because I sucked, I mean, maybe I kind of did, but because I took the long, exhausting, unnecessary scenic route, and I don't want that for you. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 things I would do differently if I started streaming today. And stay till the end, because the last one is the exact opposite of what everyone tells you to do. Before I streamed a single minute, I would get brutally clear on 2 things. Why am I streaming and what does success actually look like for me? Because grow my channel is not a goal and get more followers is not a strategy. If you don't define the outcome, the platform will happily define it for you. Now, if you're new, I know this part feels annoying. You just want to go live. You want to press buttons. You want to feel like a streamer. But I would force myself to make one decision first. Is this a hobby and a creative outlet? Or is this an income stream I want to grow on purpose? Because those 2 paths are completely different. And this is where most streamers mess up. They follow the advice from streamers who want something totally different than they do. So before anything, I would write down one clear outcome for the next 3 to 6 months. Then I would decide which metrics actually prove progress toward that goal. And listen, if you just want this to be a hobby, that's totally fine. But chances are, if you're still watching, there's a part of you that wants more than that. Maybe you haven't even admitted that to yourself yet. Next, if I were starting over, I would not try to grow alone. I would intentionally surround myself with streamers at my level or maybe a little bit ahead of me. Not massive streamers and not people already monetized speaking from a totally different reality, but people solving the same problems at the same time, because isolation messes with your head. When you stream alone, every quiet stream feels like a judgment. Low chat engagement feels personal, and slow growth feels like a failure. But in a group, those same experiences become data. You realize everyone is dealing with the same dips and the same awkward moments and the same stretches where nothing seems to happen. And that perspective alone will keep most people from quitting. So here's exactly what I would do. I would identify 3 to 5 people who stream consistently with a similar viewership or vibe. I'd show up in their streams to participate and not self-promote. And I'd set up a simple weekly or bi-weekly check-in to share our wins and our struggles and maybe something that as a group we're testing next. This is a big reason why I created my DJ Livestream Bootcamp, which I do have linked in the description if you want to know more. So having a group creates a fast feedback loop. Instead of spiraling, you compare notes. Instead of reacting emotionally, you start spotting patterns. And once you stop creating in isolation, something else becomes obvious. Some days, times, and categories are going to give you more traction than others. Now, once you see those patterns, one thing becomes very clear. The problem is not effort, it's placement. If I were starting over, I would not lock myself into a schedule just to feel disciplined or because everyone tells you to do that. I would treat the first month or 2 just as testing, because being consistent in the wrong window just means being consistently invisible. Here's how I would approach it. I'd test different days and times before committing. I would stream shorter focused sessions so I could compare results without burning out. And I'd use Twitch Tracker to help me discover the days and times that have the best viewer to streamer ratio. Most people will start by streaming the most popular game or category without understanding this. If you're a DJ, we only have the DJ category. But the days and times are crucial for understanding this. So don't copy a schedule you can't commit to and don't stream during peak hours. And don't assume streaming more equals growth. It does not. Then I would lock in a schedule. Not because someone yelled, "Be consistent," but because, actually I think I have yelled that before, but because the data earned it. And even then, there's a truth you can't ignore. Because even with perfect timing and categories, Twitch is not built for discovery. If I were starting over, I would stop waiting for Twitch to show my stream to the right people.
I say, first of all, obviously, third-party platforms matter, right? Create content for third-party platforms, but it's obviously useful to create short-form content.
Twitch is great at serving content to people who already follow you, but it's terrible at introducing you to new viewers. It's a kingmaker algorithm, so the streams with the most viewers are at the top of the discovery pages. Waiting for discovery inside of Twitch is how most streamers stall out. Here's what I would do instead. I'd treat Twitch as the place I go live, not the place I grow. I'd use short-form content on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube Shorts to show people what I do and to bring new people in. Since I've begun posting my YouTube content, my follower growth has exponentially grown on Twitch. I get people all the time coming into chat and telling me that they found me through YouTube. So if I was starting over, I would clip moments that show personality or energy, and I'd point every piece of content to my live streams, because this changes the role of the stream. The stream stops being a fishing expedition, it becomes the destination. Most people try to grow by streaming more hours, but I would grow by creating more entry points. One good clip can outperform weeks of extra streaming. But there's still one mistake almost everyone makes at the beginning, and I wish someone had told me this. If I were starting over, the first thing I would do is not stream. I would study other streamers, and more importantly, I would mod. Because before you perform in a space, you should understand how it actually works. Watching others teaches pacing, and modding shows you chat and platform behavior. You see when the chat wakes up, you see what kills momentum, and you see how streamers handle silence, trolls, raids, and slow times. Most people won't do this because it feels passive, but it's not. This is where you learn the unspoken rules, and here's exactly how I would do it. I'd pick a handful of streamers at different levels than me, and I'd watch them consistently. I would mod for at least one of them to see what running a stream actually involves. I'd pay attention to how they talk, what the flow of the stream is like, and I'd study everything. This gives you the context before the pressure of going live. Instead of going live blind, you step in knowing how streams actually flow. You already know what good looks like, and you feel like part of the ecosystem, not an outsider who's yelling into the void. Most people quit because they feel invisible on day one. This will avoid that entirely. And when you do finally go live, you're not guessing. You're stepping into a system that you already understand with a community who wants to help you succeed. Now, I know this can sound like a lot, so I have linked some tools in the description to help you break this down step by step. And if you want even more practical tips, go watch this next video, where I break down 19 Twitch tips that can actually move the needle.